welcome to The Mental Traveler. I'm Caro, and today I'm going to be reviewing Season 1 and Season 2 of the series Indian Summers. It's a period drama set in the 1930s in British India, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that I really love reading or watching British people living in the colonies in the 18th, 19th and 20th century. So this fascination was the initial reason why I decided to try out Indian Summers. But then I also like the fact that it shows a lot of love relationships and friendships between Indian people and Europeans. And it also portrays politics and the state of affairs that were leading up to the last years of British imperialism in India. Some of its cast members for both seasons are the wonderful Julie Walters, Jemima West, Henry Lloyd-Hughes, Nikesh Patel, Patrick Malahide, Blake Ritson, and many more. Many people say that Indian Summers is sort of like Downton Abbey set in India, and hoping that with that you're now intrigued, I'll begin my review. This will be a review with mild spoilers. It's about this bunch of British aristocrats spending their summers in the beautiful and remote Simla, near the Himalayas, so in the north of India. We see their interactions with each other and with members of the local community, and I believe it does make emphasis on the fact that the life of Indian people was pretty unfair when Englishmen ruled them, and as I said, it has a lot of political intrigues set on this beautiful background and a lot of interracial unions. There are many storylines to follow, from a British teacher who falls in love with an Indian woman, to the whole play that politicians had to do if they wanted to become the new Viceroy of India. Season 1 is set in 1932 and Season 2 is set in 1935. And the storyline that most appealed to me was that of the Whelan siblings, Ralph and Alice, but particularly the latter. So that's the plotline I'm going to be going into a little bit more detail. Alice is this beautiful and young married woman who arrives in India with her small son, escaping from a very obscure and troubled past. Events lead her to meet and fall in love with Afrin Dalal, her brother's right-hand man, who happens to be an Indian. And by Season 2, things get very complicated for them because a ghost from Alice's past comes back to haunt her. I give Indian Summers a 4 out of 5 stars review because even though I'm sure it's not 100% historically accurate and the acting could be even better and maybe the script could at times be improved, I think it's a delight to watch. It has so many colorful characters, for example Julie Walters, who is the sort of matriarch of the British folk that settle in Simla for the summers. And then there's also Dalal's sister, Suni, who is this very modern and sort of politic-involved feminist young woman. And I found most of the storylines pretty interesting, and I thought that the costumes were absolutely beautiful. And again, the exotic setting takes my breath away. And if I had to choose, I guess I would prefer Season 2, even though I really like them both. They really managed to give me an idea of what was life 80 years ago in India for both the Europeans and the local community. So whether I was watching Indians' initial attempts to get rid of British rule, or the way English people were living this luxurious and over-the-top existence in this remote corner of the world, I guess I wouldn't change that much of this series because I really like the way it was portrayed. And I really like the way Indian Summers portrays the development of a lot of its characters from the first episode to its last. This is it for this review. I wish I could say that I will be watching and reviewing Season 3 when it comes out, but unfortunately Indian Summers has been cancelled due to poor ratings. Still, that doesn't mean that this isn't a beautiful show, and I encourage you all to watch it. If you've already done so or will do so soon, please let me know. I'm sure there are a lot of Indian Summer fans out there, and I would love to discuss the series with you all. In the description box below you can find links to the series IMDb page, as well as links to the first season's trailer and the second seasons as well. I'll keep my fingers crossed that you enjoyed watching my review of Indian Summers. Thank you very much for doing so. I'm Cara, the Mental Traveler. I'll be seeing you soon. Goodbye!